Hi, my name is Aaron Lawson, and this is my submission for Dropbox 5.2 Part A Racialized Society. The question is, according to Emerson and Smith, what is a racialized society? A racialized society is one that accepts the differences in in-groups as natural and okay. Um, this is different than connecting with the different racial and ethnic groups of a community, because at the end of the day, the groups go back to their homes, fit into their comfortable, homogenous lifestyles in their neighborhoods, and just go back to the way it was before. Uniting one white church with a black church for lunch is a great start, but it's just that. It's a good start. It needs to go a little bit farther than that. Number two, in what ways is claiming color blindness counterproductive? Claiming the colorblind argument is ridiculous, I think, to me, after reading the text and especially after watching the video. Um, an individual may not care whether someone is white or black, but that's just the point. They don't care, they're indifferent. We should care and be willing to help bridge that gap. In your opinion, what does talking about race or ethnicity often become difficult and volatile? Why is it difficult or not for you to talk about race or ethnicity personally? For me, it is a little bit difficult to talk about the differences in races and ethnicity. Um, a lot of it has to do with the fact that um, I grew up in a very racist type of community. And the school that I went to in itself actually was is a Christian high school. It's very small out in the rural cornfields, and there was a lot of racism that was very evident in the school children and the school teachers. And it's sad to see that, but there were very, very few different people at school. So really, I'm afraid that that's going to come out when I don't intend it to. Um, really, talking about that type of thing does make you share and state some of your preconceived thoughts and intentions. For instance, I have a very good friend. He's a black friend of mine who often jokes about having to kind of overcome some ridiculous things that he has to go through, um, and the looks that he gets when we're out together. Um, things like if we get loud at a park, it's because he's black. If we go to a restaurant, the thought has to cross his mind: what do I order? Does the person waiting on us um, expect me to order certain things? So he doesn't want people to read into what he orders and conclude that, oh, it's just because he's black. Um, Other things like he has a hard time not thinking when he gets pulled over that he got pulled over because he's black, not because he was speeding. Um, it's just those things he has to constantly think about. But the thing I enjoy about it is because I am friends with him and we are open and free to talk about things like that. That we're able to, have a joking conversation every now and then, but really get to the meat of the matter too, and talk about what it means to be a black person in a white person's neighborhood, and vice versa. When he takes me out and we go, because he's a musician, if we go out to some place that's typically not a white hangout, what do I um, fear by going into those places? According to Emerson and Smith, in what ways does the organization and structure of the church contribute to the problem of racialization? Um, there was something that Emerson and Smith said on page 157 and 158 that talks about religion both defining and increasing in racial categorization. And it's simple things as like it's as blatant as having a sign out front that pretty much says that within the church is a black congregation. Or I'll use my church as an example. On occasion, we have music that is typical of a white congregation, even though we are a mixed congregation. But just making it comfortable, I think. If we have a worship leader who picks the same typically white songs every Sunday, does it make people feel uncomfortable? We need to step out of our little comfort zones every now and then. Another idea the author mentioned was that the selfishness of an individual is labeled as morality, sacrifice, and loyalty. I really kind of pondered on this paragraph for a while. So that the selfishness, like I said, of an individual can get relabeled for a community as being loyalty, sacrifice, service, things of that nature. So how much more can we draw out that same definition or quote in saying that racism on an individual level is also called loyalty, and taking care of one's own family on a cultural level.